Hello! Here I am, everyone's favorite archfiend and nefarious evil Uncle Chucky. Well, today I'm going to get into archfiend stuff and how to be nefarious and evil, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it, which makes it all the more fun. And to do that, I have my new box here to actually going to give a demonstration of how it is used for this purpose, because it really is uniquely designed for this sort of project. Make sure I get those set to start with. It's important to have the right starting points on these things. One should always begin from the beginning, so I'm going to begin with the background. I'm sure all of you who have followed me are familiar with my Psionics against censorship project. I blow up at censorship. I blow up at political correctness. And anyone who knows me knows that I am not a person to just sit back and say, oh, well, there's nothing I can do, because, frankly, if this stuff works, and I haven't just spent the bulk of my adult life deluding myself. Oh, I hope I haven't. That would be embarrassing to go to my grave thinking. There is a lot that the individual, and this individual in particular, can do. Especially when it comes to, the human mind and putting things into it. There's a history to the Psionics Against Censorship project. I've written about it, but for those who are not familiar with it, it began in 1988. A young artist painted a wonderful satirical picture of the dead mayor of Chicago, the truly notorious and totally unmourned Harold Washington. He put him in women's underwear, which actually proved to be prophetic, because it later came out that the man had been a drag queen and was notorious in the Chicago gay community. At least that's what I was told. Obviously, I have no first-hand information on that, but that's what I was told by people who were in a position to know at the time. So, as you can imagine, certain representatives of the criminal underclass became very upset, and they acted to censor the painting, thus causing Uncle Chucky, who was just plain old Chuck at that time, to go flying up the wall and over the battlements. I was pissed green. So I said to myself, Chuck, you've got this equipment. Let's show this animal life what we can do. And so I did. Now you understand, this is still really the early days of psionics for me. I mean, I'd been doing it for 10 years, 11 years by this time. But a lot of the techniques were actually getting old. I used a box, a helmet, and a gadget called a teleflasher. Because actually this, I think, was about a month before I got my first PC. I was still playing with old Commodore. And so the teleflasher, essentially, for those who are not familiar with my writing, a box with a light bulb, a flashing unit, and you threw the picture onto a stand, which you would put a picture on. You would look at that, and the flashing light would create kind of a strobe effect. And that was, in theory at least, it made it more effective to transmit. I use computer-generated stuff now, and it seems to work better. But anyway, that's what we had. We used what we had. Fun thing I have to explain to people who do psionics and radionics now. You know, there were times when we actually had to hand draw things. But anyway, so I took, well, this picture was in all the newspapers, of course, ran it. I put it on the teleflasher. I set up the machine with an aerial photograph of the Chicago area, plugged my helmet into the box, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, when people are asleep and most susceptible, I fired that picture, and I did that every night for a month. Well, it's one of those bright ideas, and okay, we don't have to do that anymore, let's not worry about it. Come 1999, Columbine. Oh, we must censor video games, censor violence. Oh, no, you're not. And so I came up with something called the Watchtower Project. And that consisted of a similar process. Helmet, box. Only this time watching video, this time playing violent video games. The very things they were talking about censoring. Censor that, assholes. A lot of good it'll do you. And the Psionics Against Censorship Project sort of picked up steam after that. It's the perfect antidote to political correctness. You simply send images that the politically correct people don't like, only you send it directly into the subconscious of everyone. A million complaints on Twitter are no match for that. The hashtag hookers can't figure that out. Well, I got a new project, the Cthulhu Project. I'm having a lot of fun with it, actually. And since it's time to reset the machine, I'm going to demonstrate how it's done. Essentially, the Cthulhu Project is very simple. What does Cthulhu do? He sleeps and he dreams madness, and he sends that madness to the world. As people who are susceptible pick up on the dreams and act out the madness. Well, all people dream madness. That is the nature of dreams, including my dreams. So, when I go to bed at night, I turn on my machine, the amplifier on my machine, and whatever I dream goes to everyone on the planet who is susceptible. Now, how do I do this? Very simple. First, I'm obviously not going to dream wearing a psionic helmet. It's uncomfortable. I have a photograph of myself with the sample of Uncle Chucky. That goes on the input plate. I have a satellite picture of dear old Father Earth. It goes on the output. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how this machine is set. It's very simple. Since I want to send this to people's mind, their subconscious, I'll send it to the brow chakra. I turn this dial to where it says brow. Indigo is the color associated with the brow chakra. I turn that to indigo. Now I have my tuners. And I just tune these until they feel right. Now, to put it all together, we have an attenuator dial. The attenuator can also be used in certain operations for the effectiveness of it, because it's calibrated they're all calibrated from 0 to 100. Anyway, but I'll just tune the attenuator down. There. Simple. We're set. When I go to bed, throw the switch. Well, you don't throw the switch because the switch is attached to the machine. What you do is you pull the little switch. And then to sleep perchance to dream. And of that dreams what may become. Who knows? Who knows what evil can be brought out of the minds of men? What savageries can be unleashed? What chaos can be turned loose upon the world? All by the simple, so incredibly simple process of dreaming. Wonderful, isn't it? This is Uncle Chucky. Have a truly, truly evil day.